Hey Josh,
What's Gucci?
you want to hear about the Battle of Okinawa?
Is that a person?
No, silly. The Battle of Okinawa, also codenamed as Operation Iceberg, was fought on the Ryukyu Islands and was one of the largest assaults of World War II history. The battle lasted 82 days, spanning from April 1st to June 21st of 1945. As American allies grew closer to the mainland of Japan, they hoped to capture Okinawa, the large island that was 345 miles away from the mainland of Japan. They wanted to use it as a base for air operations, which would lead them to the invasion of Japan. The invasion was supported by the naval, amphibious, and tactical air forces. The Battle of Okinawa led to the Allied victory and the continuation forward to take over the mainland of Japan.
Well, I'm going to tell you about the Battle of Midway. The Battle of Midway was fought on June 4th, 1942. The Japanese drew America into battle on Midway Island so they could have a base for attacking Pearl Harbor. U.S. Admiral Nimitz listened to Japanese radio intercepts and the U.S. countered the attack. A United States aircraft sunk 4 Japanese carriers, forcing them to surrender.
Well, Mr. Wells, I'm going to tell you about the Battle of Iwo Jima. It took place in Iwo Jima, Japan, February 19th to March 26th of 1945. The U.S. invasion went into battle with the mission of capturing the 3 airfields on Iwo Jima, which resulted in a ton of fighting. One of the most memorable photos of the battle was the raising of the U.S. flag atop Mount Surbachi. The historic photograph was taken on February 23, 1945, which shows 5 United States Marines and a U.S. Navy corpsman raising the flag. Iwo Jima was one of the most memorable sites during all of World War II.
Well, Mr. Sanchez, you bet you didn't know about mobilizing the home front. Things included in this were that there were more workers created, and also output was being produced at its maximum rate. Women became workers, soldiers, and housewives. More farm labor was being created. Anyone over 16 had to register for the army. And also, new schools and hospitals were being provided.
Wow, how interesting.
Hey Alex, can you tell me about that Roosevelt guy?
You mean Franklin Delano Roosevelt, also known as FDR?
Of course.
Oh, well, sure. He served in office from March 4th, 1933 to April 12th, 1945. His goal was to make America the arsenal of democracy. Shortly after cutting off trade with Japan, the Japanese had attacked the naval base in Pearl Harbor on December 8, 1941. He called it a date which will live in infamy. As an active military leader, he came up with the idea, a war strategy, to defeat the Japanese. He had an idea of 2 fronts that ended the defeat of Japan by using the world's first atom bomb, hitting the cities Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Unbelievable.
Now how about you tell me about that atom bomb?
Well, I certainly will. The atom bomb was first approved in 1945 by President Truman. The first ever atomic bomb was dropped on the city of Hiroshima, and over 20,000 people died.
Wow, that is scary.
Hey, can you tell me a little more about Harry Truman? I think you know.
Can I ever?
Of course.
Harry Truman was the president during World War II. He approved the first and only atom bomb to be dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He went into foreign affairs to stop Germany and tried to end World War II, which he had done successfully. How about you and your pretty little self? Tell me about VJ Day.
Oh, you're too kind.
Thank you.
VJ Day, also known as Victory over Japan Day, was on August 15th, 1945, when Japan surrendered. On September 2nd, 1945, Japan signed the surrender documents. After Japan surrendered, there were celebrations and riots all throughout America. This is known as VJ Day.
Breathtaking.
Hey, do you have the time to tell me about Doug D. MacArthur pants?
Don't you mean Douglas MacArthur?
Yeah.
Well, during World War II, Douglas MacArthur was an army general in charge of all the American army units in the Pacific Campaign against Japan. He had a strong belief that the Japanese were weak and could not outstand his army. He served as the general all throughout the 30s and 40s and received the Medal of Honor for his service in the Philippines campaign. Overall, he had served in 2 world wars and dedicated 48 years of service. He had died at the age of 84 on April 5th, 1964, in Washington, D.C. To wrap this whole thing up, do you mind just telling me a little bit about the Japanese internment camps?
Oh, the internment camps? Of course.
Thank you.
In these internment camps, over 110,000 Japanese Americans lived there. President Roosevelt authorized the internment camps with the exclusive Order 9066 on February 19th, 1942. Later on, Ronald Reagan apologized for these internment camps.
Well, if you haven't guessed already, This is me and my good friend Josh talking about World War II. Me personally, I would like to thank my mom, my dad, my brother Noah, and my good friend, the bulldog named Sonny. Josh, any words?
Well, yeah, actually, I would like to say a few words. I would like to thank my brother Jacob, my 2 cats, also my house, the tree in my front yard.
All right, well, that's all the time we
and,
have. Next week, please stay tuned.
for our video on oranges and bananas.
Thank you and have
Healthy
a great
fruit
day.
salad is a good thing for you.
I'm a goofy goober. You're a goofy goober. We're all goofy.
Please drink responsibly.